There's a very subtle but important difference between the two sentences, I love paintings and I love painting. And the subtle difference is the letter S, right? Because to say that I love paintings is to say that I like to look at paintings. I love to go to art galleries. Maybe people love to read books about, paintings and the artists and the history and the biographies of it all. Perhaps they might go to sites online where they can learn more about these different painters, or perhaps they even hang these paintings in their home. Right? But to say I love paintings with an S doesn't mean you really have to do much at all. You never have to pick up a paintbrush. You never have to paint yourself. You just have to like paintings. But to say I like painting without the S is something entirely different. And the difference can be seen that if somebody says, I love painting, but they don't own an easel nor oil paints, they've never taken any painting classes, they've never actually produced any artwork themselves at all, you might suspect that maybe they don't love painting as much as they say. And the difference is the difference between seeing and doing. To love paintings is a matter of seeing. Anybody can see paintings and enjoy them for what they are. But to love the act of painting is a matter of doing. You have to do things. In fact, you have to paint to say that you love painting. When someone says, I am a Christian, but they don't really take time for prayer, they don't really crack open their Bible or really know anything about the Gospels, they don't often go to confession or perform works of mercy, there's really no deep conversion of heart, or they don't really seem to know much of their faith at all, you might kind of start to poke and ask and wonder, well, maybe they're not being as truthful about that as they say, right? And that's an awkward matter, of course. But the awkwardness comes from the fact that Christianity is a matter of doing and not seeing, right? Christianity is an activity. I can't just look at Christianity on the wall and say, oh, that's nice, and then go back home and say, I'm a Christian, right? I have to do something. I have to perform an activity to live out my Christian faith. And that is deeply uncomfortable. And it's uncomfortable to the point that Jesus has to call it out in our gospel today in such a particular way. He criticizes the scribes and the Pharisees precisely for this way of seeing their own faith. They want to be seen. They want to be seen as great and virtuous Jewish practitioners without perhaps actually doing the work themselves. He says, for they preach, but they do not practice. They tie up heavy burdens hard to carry and lay them on other people's shoulders, but they will not lift a finger to move them. All their works are performed to be seen, right? Jesus is criticizing the Pharisees today for seeing but not doing. And I think it's an incredibly crucial question to ask of ourselves. It's an uncomfortable question, right? When it comes to my faith, is my faith a matter of seeing or doing? Because after all, Jesus says in this very same Gospel of Matthew, just several chapters before, he says, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father. Christianity is a matter of doing. If we just simply live our faith in kind of a nominal way where we're only really Christians by name, it's kind of like sitting down and watching Bob Ross paint, right? It's delightful, right? It's great to watch Bob Ross paint, but I can watch Bob Ross paint all day, and it will never make me a painter, right? I can think about Christianity in the highest terms. I can even hang a crucifix on my wall, right? I can keep a Bible on my shelf. But if I don't actually start painting or living my faith, the uncomfortable question is, well, then to what degree am I really a Christian? Right? These are hard words. I mean, it's hard to say because I don't really live up to these either, right? But these are, I think, are the words that our Lord is challenging us with this evening. Now, certainly, we do not earn our salvation. There is nothing we can do to earn the fact that our Lord has saved us. But we also have to do something, right? As St. James says in his letters, right? Faith without works is dead. We have to do something. We have to really live out and carry our faith. But the hard work of our faith is undertaken with and for the Lord. Right? I don't perform my faith so that others might see me. I don't perform my faith so that others might think highly of me. In fact, today to practice your faith means you will likely be pretty unpopular. Right? But we want to live our faith not just by seeing, but by really doing, because our Lord calls us to do that with and for him. Not so that others can praise me, not so that I can be popular, but because it's true. Because it's true. And the Lord invites us to live our lives in the truth, and the truth will set us free.